supposedly is the inspiration for Black Lives Matter. Interesting. Wasn't he also the one who said that we shouldn't judge people based on their skin color, but the content of their character? And you think that you're doing this in the name of Martin Luther King. But you're not. All you're doing is exactly what he didn't want his people to do. And for some reason, you think that he would be so proud of you. He would be so proud of the Black Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement is racism. That's all it is. But they somehow disguise it as not racist. But the fact that at a Bernie Sanders convention, which, by the way, where was his security at? In Seattle. First of all, he gets up there and he's like, "Hello, Seattle. Thank you for being the most progressive city in the nation." It's kind of a weird thing to thank people for. It's really weird, and they are very progressive, and it's really bad. It's a dangerous place. And anyway, but we're not talking about things that matter. We have to talk about things that do matter. People say Islam is not the problem. They're a religion of peace. But then when a Christian person at a bakery doesn't want to make a wedding cake for a gay couple, they say, I don't want to do it. They're like, "Well, you're a terrible person. You're awful. We hate you." And everybody else is going to hate you as a result because we're telling them to hate you. So they don't want to feel left out. So they decide to feel like they have to hate you too. And that's what's ridiculous, is that progressives just believe most of the time. It's weird because they question literally everything. They challenge everything, which is not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But then at the same time, they also almost believe anything, which is kind of the worst of extremes. And we have so many things that are going on. Apparently, progressives, they don't feel like there's actually a problem with ISIS. It's just some people, they're not actual Muslims. They don't represent the Muslim religion. But they are violent people. Muslims, in their nature, in their Bible, the Quran, they feel like they need to kill people who are not Muslim. That's what they think. And but when a Christian says, "I'm not going to make a cake for a gay wedding," they're the terrible person. But here's the thing. Islam is not a religion of peace. What ISIS stands for is literally what Islam stands for. Like, you have no evidence to back that up, blah, blah, blah. And, you say Islam is a religion of violence and hatred and death. They are not people of life. Christians are people of life. That's why most Christians are pro-choice. Now, if you're not a pro-choice Christian, or pro-life, I don't know why I said that. If you are not a pro-life Christian, that's weird. The term pro-life was coined. And then they're like, pro-choice. I'm for choice because, the war on women, because apparently that's what it is. It's considered women's health. Because apparently health, this is not really what I always thought health was. I didn't know health was a doctor reaching into a woman and ripping a baby's body apart. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Interesting, because that doesn't have really anything to do with health. It has everything to do with death. Back in a minute.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Robin Walensky. The men and women who want to be president heading to the Iowa State Fair to give speeches and meet and greet voters. Donald Trump, who leads the pack in terms of the Republicans, expected to arrive in his helicopter. As for Hillary Clinton, her popularity down, dropping in recent polls as the scandal grows involving her personal email server. And now word Joe Biden is seriously considering getting into the race. The Blaze Radio's Joe Gomez picks up the story now from Washington, D.C.
Vice President Joe Biden has said he would make a decision by next month. A number of supporters and friends have been urging him to challenge Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination. It would be the third try for the 72-year-old Biden, who has quietly been exploring his chances. Political advisors say it's unclear if such a late entry into the race would allow enough time for a Biden campaign to ramp up ahead of the 2016 primaries. Joe Gomez, The Blaze News.
This is news on the Blaze Radio Network.
You know what side is right. It is not black lives. It is not white lives. It's not blue lives. It's not unborn lives. It's not old lives, young lives, special lives, rich lives, poor lives. It's all lives matter. Life is what sets us apart. We are a people of life. Other cultures are a culture of death. Let's start talking about something that is real and real injustice. Join me in Birmingham, Alabama on 8/28. I've had enough. Raise your hand and be counted.
America has always been about the future. Her future. Their future. Our future. That's why Republicans believe in a society open to all, where government stays out of our way, where families can get ahead, where opportunity lives, where good schools are available to anyone, where good jobs are there for the hardworking, where every one of us has the opportunity to succeed, and where all can look forward to a better and more secure future. There are people who still believe opportunity lives in America, and we call ourselves Republicans.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Robin Walensky. All eyes on Iowa as 20 candidates for president, Democrats and Republicans, head to the state fair. Donald Trump expected to arrive at his helicopter. Hillary Clinton also expected to be there. Meanwhile, Carly Fiorina speaking out about Clinton.
Hillary Clinton has lied about Benghazi, about her emails, about her server.
Carly Fiorina saying that Hillary Clinton's actions are plain and simple, black and white.
By any common sense definition, she has lied. But somehow politicians don't always use common sense terms or plain language. But I think by any common sense definition, the same you and I would use, if you say you don't have a server and you do, you lied. If you say you didn't pass classified information and you did, you lied. If you say it was a video and it turns out to be a purposeful terrorist attack, which you knew at the time, you lied.
Fiorina making her comments on Hannity on Fox News.
The very latest now on Hillary Clinton and her email server. Here's the Blaze Radio's Tom Peace.
Something is is missing from Hillary Clinton's campaign, and that something is called energy. And one of the reasons why the energy and excitement isn't there is because of this email scandal.
Larry Sabato of the University of Virginia Center for Politics tells Fox News the Hillary Clinton email scandal has a familiar ring to it.
Anybody who covered Bill Clinton's administration for 8 years when Hillary was very prominent in the 1990s recognizes this MO. It's the same MO.
In an email to supporters, the campaign blasting suggestions of guilt as misinformation and nonsense, Sabato says campaign organizers must try to stop damage much quicker than they have already.
And a look at Wall Street this Friday morning. Here's the Blaze Radio's Brad James.
Stocks are mixed as investors are concerned the Fed may raise rates as early as next month. When the market opens on Friday, the Dow is up 6 points, the Nasdaq falling 11, the S&P 500 down 3.
This is news on the Blaze Radio Network. Truth lives here.
The Zach Halcox Show on the Cobalt Radio Network.
On air, online, and in your pocket. Find out all the ways you can listen at zachhalcox.com.
Alright, so here, I'm going to play you some audio that it's by this guy, Louis Farrakhan, who, by the way, was on the Word Network, which is the largest African-American religious-based Christian network in the world. And they have this guy on here who makes terroristic threats toward white people, hates white people, just hates them. And he says that we're going to have to take matters into our own hands because the government's full of racist white people, that they need to do something. They need to kill people. That's what they think they have to do. And it is some crazy, crazy stuff. They had this back on August 8th. The Word Network had this big special presentation event thing, where they had all these different black singers, all these different things. They're talking about supposed injustice, and they're all behind this idea that they're oppressed. Why would they think they're oppressed? People are like, oh, because they're treated like crap in this country. I had a teacher say that to me one time. He said, black people are treated like crap in this country. And I was like, are they? Because I don't think they are. People are like, oh, well, they're always getting harassed by police officers, you know. They a lot of times live in terrible conditions. They can't get jobs. But most of the time, that's their own fault. That's nothing that the government can help them with. If you drop out of high school, you know, you're going to have consequences from that. However, there are people who drop out of high school, and they're very successful people. I know some people who are like that. Very successful people. Very great people. And the problem is that they're like, I work at McDonald's, and it's because I'm black. I can't get no better job. I got like 20,000 children. It's like, oh, and the government needs to take care of me. Like, first of all, stop having so many children. Second of all, keep working at McDonald's for a while, because that can turn into something else. The fact that you're black doesn't have to do with anything. I don't know if it's like this everywhere in the country, but where I live, if you, you see a black person, you don't think anything of it. You don't think, oh, there's black people. You're not scared of them most of the time. You just don't really think about it. You're like, oh, they're people. They're just normal people. But I think in some areas, there are people who are like, oh, black people. Oh, no, we can't have these black people moving into our neighborhood. This neighborhood was good until they moved in. And it is it's strange that, I don't know if it's like that everywhere, all over the country, but I know especially around here, it's not like that. I know in some areas they're more racist than in other places. But people are like, oh, Obama's black. Why shouldn't he be part of us?